And my mom just told me, you know what, go, leave the house. Don't stay here because I don't want you to be like me. I have 5 brothers and I'm the only girl. We grew up in a small little village. We didn't have too much. We just have the basics. No milk, no fruits, no greens, just beans, rice. We played with everything around the backyard, the stones, the branches, the seeds. So we made games around what it was in the backyard. Those were my toys. My dad always worked, so I didn't see him almost never. He was very strict, a person with a lot of rules, so I didn't have any friends, male, just girl friends were allowed in my house. My mom, a lovely, lovely lady that always was working in the house, cooking for my dad 3 times a day. So my mom was the thing that I didn't want it to become, a slave in the house. They were my inspiration to be the opposite. We don't have resources to get like clothing, stuff like that. The only day we have a new pair of clothes, like the top and the bottom, once a year when we go for Christmas. So on the rest of the year, of course, it was broken tops, or I didn't have dresses, or the shoes were with the holes. So my mom started to sew from fabric that she gets from the blankets. She went to the pillows and opened them up and see what pieces it would be good for a piece of blouse. And she was doing it. When she wanted to take it seriously, my dad didn't allow her to do it because she was meant to be raising kids and cooking and to be in the house. So we walked to school like maybe for half an hour every day. I had to cross like a big street, so it was dangerous for a kid, 6-year-old, to go in by himself. But my parents, I think they want to have education for us. So the school, I think, was the best thing that happened too, apart from playing in the backyard. I built good friendships with the kids that were in the school. I saw from the school, I show leadership always. It's what I remember. So I always wanted to be participating. So I wanted to be in the dance group. I wanted to be in the drama. I wanted to play the guitar. I wanted to do everything. In those days, my mom has to run up behind me with the outfits to change because I had to be in one dance and then in the drama, and then I had to bring the guitar. The guitar was borrowed. I became rebel. I don't know, maybe the friends that I met in high school were the best. Friends from school getting pregnant before even graduating. And I say, I don't want to have kids at my 15 or 14. I want to get married. I want to have a husband that loves me. I always dream about getting married. And I'm so happy I didn't end up in that path because a lot of my friends didn't graduate because they had to raise a child. When I graduated from high school, after it comes to university, and we didn't have the resources, financial resources to pay for university. I said to my mom, I want to study, but I don't know how to. I didn't have the money, I didn't have anything. So I decided to study a business administration of my subscription. I didn't have the money yet, so I just went to university to check on papers, and then it was time to pay, of course. So My oldest brother had left to the state, and I asked him if he could help me, lend me something to start, and then he lent me the money. And then I started, but I didn't have the ticket to go to the big city. So I got a guitar for someone. Someone gave me a guitar. I think it was my cousin like a few years ago. And my mom just told me, you know what, go, leave the house. Don't stay here because I don't want you to be like me. And they gave me just except for the ticket, maybe for a few days of food. So I went to the city. I didn't know where to stay. So I asked one of the good friends that I got that it was, and she was close to me. So she also went to the same city, and I asked her if I can stay with her for a little bit. But I know I couldn't stay forever. Then I contacted a cousin. So that cousin let me stay, but in exchange for babysitting their kids. And then I decided to leave. And they gave me some coins to take the transportation because I babysit. So I just have 2 plastic bags for my personal things. I went to cousin place. I didn't have a job there yet. But then for the second semester, I found a job selling cigarettes, alcohol to homeless. And they protected me because in the area that I was working, selling those things, it was completely dangerous. But they said, no, we're going to take care of you. We're going to tell all these guys that you are the good one, that don't touch you or don't do anything to you. And the guy who hired me wanted to abuse me in exchange for maybe a stay somewhere. And then I started to go from cousin to cousin until they didn't open the door for me. So I had to look for ways to stay. So the place that I found was a parking lot where buses were parked. I went to bus every night to sleep because they had the doors open. But I was so scared that someone found me there. There were nobody out there. But someone almost catch me in that bus, so I felt scared. If that person will saw me, oh my God, I think I won't be here. So I said, no, this is getting too dangerous. And I didn't want to say anything to my family because they will say, come home, you have a house. You are doing this because you just, I don't know, you want it, but you can come home. So I didn't want to say anything, so nobody knew. Like, they knew I was struggling, but they never knew where I was staying. I was tired, of course, of that, but I didn't eat well. I was eating whatever I could buy. I would pack like maybe the leftovers they had in the kitchen. So I packed all the leftovers for next day. Because I have to skip from meal to meal. I developed hypoglycemia, so I was very close to have a diabetes condition. But at that time, I was dizzy. I didn't have energy. I thought I was dying because I couldn't even hold my body. My second job was selling in like a kind of Home Depot thing, like selling tools. So I was working during the day and studying at night. And I had to keep studying for the next day. And so I slept very poorly and eat very basic. But the only thing that I saw in the whole story is where my university was. It was located in a very nice area that I dreamt of living there. I said, oh, I wish I could live close to this place. What I said to you, every time that I want something badly, it happens, like a magic happens. I ended up living in the area. So it's another story, but ended up living in that area. It took years, when years passed, and is in the area where I met who is my husband now. So Ricardo is my husband. Ricardo is the one who used to be my roommate. We became very good friends. And the rule in the apartment was no relationships with the roommates. So I didn't want to break the rule, but we did at some point. Yeah, so it was my first love, my first person, my first everything. And we happened to get married, and we have 4 kids at once. I always wanted to have twins, and I have quadruplets. We have 2 boys, 2 girls. My message is that it doesn't matter if you are coming from a developing country, if you don't have support emotionally or financially, if you feel that it's anything for you that you cannot make it because too much obstacle, that's not true. I prove it. I can say that is possible if you have a purpose. So it's not just for making money, because when you are thinking to do something just for making money, you will get disappointed and you just thinking about you and your personal success. But if you think about the purpose that you have behind what you're gonna make or what you're gonna be, I think is when success is met. So that will be maybe my message.